Maintaining a healthy worm bin requires regular check-ins to ensure the right conditions for composting. Today, I went through my 4 worm bins, each at a different stage of the process. Regular maintenance helps prevent issues like excess moisture, pests, and improper decomposition while ensuring a thriving worm population. The first bin was in excellent shape. The bedding had the perfect moisture level, damp like a wrung-out sponge. The worms were actively moving through the material, breaking down food scraps at a steady rate. A closer look revealed plenty of worm cocoons, a good sign that the population is growing. I checked for any undigested food scraps and noticed a few small pieces of carrot and eggshell that were still intact. Harder materials take longer to break down, but that's normal. The overall balance of food, moisture, and bedding was perfect, so I left this bin alone, knowing the worms were working efficiently. The second bin had a small issue. One section was too wet, with a slight odor. This usually happens when food scraps with high water content, like melon rinds or cucumber peels, aren't balanced with enough bedding. I noticed a few fruit flies hovering around, another indicator of excess moisture. To fix it, I added a generous amount of shredded cardboard to absorb the extra moisture and mixed it gently to distribute airflow. Proper aeration is key to preventing anaerobic conditions, which can lead to a smelly, slimy mess. This should help restore the balance, but I'll check back in a few days to ensure the issue is resolved. The third bin had reached the point where the material had fully transformed into worm castings, dark, crumbly, and full of beneficial microbes. There were almost no visible food scraps left, which meant the worms had done their job. This bin was ready for harvesting. To separate the worms from the castings, I'll use the light harvesting method. This involves placing the castings in small piles and allowing the worms to burrow down away from the light. Once they retreat, I can collect the top layer of finished castings and repeat the process until all the worms have moved to fresh bedding. The harvested worm castings will be stored in a breathable container until I'm ready to use them in the garden. They're an excellent organic fertilizer, rich in nutrients that improve soil structure and plant health. The fourth bin was part of an experiment using shredded autumn leaves as the primary bedding instead of the usual cardboard or paper. The worms seemed to be adapting well, but I noticed that the bedding was drying out faster than expected. Unlike cardboard, leaves don't retain as much moisture, so this bin needed extra monitoring. I lightly misted the bedding to restore moisture and made a note to check it more frequently. The worms were actively burrowing and processing the leaves, but it would take more time to see how well this method worked in the long term. This experiment will help me determine whether leaves can be a viable alternative to traditional bedding materials. Each bin is at a different stage, requiring unique adjustments and care. Regular monitoring prevents small issues from becoming major problems and ensures a thriving worm population. With a few adjustments and ongoing maintenance, all 4 bins are progressing well. Vermicomposting is a continuous learning process, but with proper care, it's an incredibly effective way to turn food waste into nutrient-rich compost. I'll check back in a few days to monitor progress and make further adjustments if necessary.